The topic for discussion is anatomy of ear. Humans are provided with two important organs for sensing information carried by its waves. Those are the ears and the eyes. The ear is the organ for hearing. It is divided into three parts: the outer ear, middle ear, and inner ear. Outer ear consists of pinna or auricle and the auditory canal. Middle ear consists of eardrum, ossicles, eustachian tube. Inner ear consists of cochlea, vestibule, and semicircular canal. So, the ear is divided into three parts, that is the outer ear, inner ear, and the middle ear. Now we will see what are the parts of the ear in detail. In this diagram you can see the outer ear, middle ear, and inner ear. As the outer ear consists of pinna, ear canal or the auditory canal, okay, and it also consists of cartilage and the mastoid process. These are the process parts which are of outer ear, and the middle ear it mainly consists of malleus, incus, scapus, and the eardrum, and the inner ear consists of cochlea, the cochlear organ, the cochlear nerve, vestibular organ and the vestibular nerve, and the eustachian tube. Now let us deal about each in detail. The outer ear, first comes a pinna or auricle. It receives sound waves that travel through the auditory canal or ear canal. Okay, what is the pinna do? It receives sound waves. In this diagram you can see the pinna. Okay, it consists of the cartilaginous part. What is the nerve supply to the pinna? The nerve supply to the pinna or the auricle is via both the roots, that is the sensory and the motor root. The motor root is to the facial nerve, that is the temporal and posterior auricular branches, whereas the sensory root to the medial surface is the lesser occipital nerve and the greater auricular nerve. Lateral surface is the auriculotemporal nerve and the greater auricular nerve, and the root of the pinna, auricular branch of vagus, supplies the auricle. Okay. Now, let's see the blood supply and the lymphatic drainage. The blood supply to the auricle or pinna is through the posterior auricular artery and the superficial temporal artery. Okay, and the lymphatic drainage is through the preauricular or the parochidic lymph nodes, postauricular or the mastoid lymph nodes, and the upper deep cervical lymph nodes. Now, next comes the external auditory canal. It extends from concha to the tympanic membrane, and it is a bony cartilaginous canal. What is it? It is a bony cartilaginous canal. As you can see in this diagram, what it is, it extends, the arrow indicates its extension, that is from concha to the tympanic membrane. Coming to the nerve supply, the auriculotemporal nerve provides sensory information from anterior wall and roof, whereas the posterior wall and floor is carried in the nerve fibers of auricular branch of the vagus, that is the ulnar nerve. Coming to the blood supply of external auditory canal, that is the posterior auricular artery and the superficial temporal artery. The lymphatic drainage, anterior wall is the preauricular lymph nodes, posterior wall is a lymph node like mastoid tip, and the rest of it is drains into the upper deep cervical lymph nodes. Outer ear is done. Now we will be dealing with middle ear. The middle ear transfers the energy of a sound wave by vibrating the three bones found there. Eardrum is also known as the tympanic membrane or the tympanic cavity. Eardrum is a cone shaped piece of skin about 10 mm wide. It is very sensitive. Even the slightest pressure variation will cause it to vibrate. Separates the outer ear from the middle ear. What does the eardrum do? It separates the outer ear from the middle ear. The shape of it is cone shape. In this diagram, you can see the eardrum, which is also known as tympanic membrane. It is cone shape. Okay, which is cone shape. It is very sensitive, and what does it do? Even the slightest pressure variation will cause it to vibrate. Coming to the ossicles. Ossicles are the smallest bones in the body. There are three ossicles present in the middle ear. Malleus, as you can see, which is in the shape of a hammer. Incus, which is also known as anvil, and scapus is also known as stirrups. What are the muscles present in the middle ear? They are the Kensa tympani and scapudius muscle. And the other contents would be mucosal fold, nerves and vessels. In this diagram, you can see the scapudius tendon, the main nerve, that is the cauda tympani nerve, the Kensa tympani tendon you can see, incus muscle you can see, and the facial nerve is also can be seen. Coming to the blood supply. The blood supply to the middle ear is through the middle meningeal artery, maxillary artery, ascending pharyngeal artery and the posterior auricular artery. Next, coming to the nerve supply and lymphatics. Nerve supply sensory is through this tympanic branch of 9th cranial nerve, which is the Jacobson's nerve. Motor is through the Kensa tympani muscle is supplied by the mandibular nerve, and scapudius muscle is supplied by the facial nerve. And lymphatic, they going to preauricular and the electropharyngeal lymph nodes. Now, coming to the inner ear. The inner ear, it is divided into two parts, that is the cochlea and the auditory nerve. What is the inner ear divided into two parts, cochlea and the auditory nerve? In this diagram, the box indicates the inner ear. The purple color indicates the bony labyrinth of cochlea, and the blue color indicates the membranous labyrinth of the cochlea, right? And you can see the semicircular ducts in this diagram. This is the cochlea or the part of the inner ear, okay, or the inner ear. It consists of semicircular canal, fenestra vestibuli and the cochlea. These are present in the bony labyrinth. What is cochlea? Cochlea is a spiral tube that is covered in a stiff membrane. It contains thousands of hair cells attached to the end of the organ of the auditory nerve called organ of Corti. In this diagram, you can see the cochlea. The red color is the cochlea, which is a spiral tube. Next is the auditory nerve, the next content. The tiny hair cells of cochlea are set in motion by vibrations. These vibrations stimulate tiny nerve cells. The nerve cells then signal along the auditory nerve to the brain. What does the auditory nerve do? It sends signal to the auditory nerve to the brain. In this diagram, the black color demarcation is the auditory nerve. The next content would be the semicircular canals. There are three loops of fluid filled tubes that are attached to the cochlea in the inner ear. They help us maintain our sense of balance. What is the main function of semicircular canal? It maintains our sense of balance. In this diagram, you can see the blood supply to the inner ear. The main blood supply is via the basilar artery, as you can see, and then to the and then from the anterior inferior cerebral artery, internal auditory artery, anterior vestibular artery and common cochlear artery, and all of this coming draining to the main cochlear artery. So this is the blood supply to the inner ear. So this was about ear and its anatomy and the functions of the outer ear, inner ear and the middle ear. The most commonly asked question would be middle ear and its function and the anatomy, where you need to mention about malleus, incus and stapes muscles, the blood supply, the nerve supply, etc. And the most common asked question in the Viva is what is which ear maintains the sense of balance.